Alright, let's pop that noise suppression on. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Hope everyone's doing well. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Happy Friday, first off. I want to film a new video this weekend for the fall. We got surf candy season. Apparently, some Albies have been caught by Jeff out in the ocean the past, like a couple days ago. So I've been harassing him to take me out fishing. Hopefully that'll work. But finished a bunch of teasers, went and dropped those off. I still have 75 more of those to tie, but we're not going to be doing that tonight. We're going to be doing some roll your own fly later. So we're going to be rolling up some random flies. But first, I kind of want to do a surf candy with some feathers along the side. Almost like a mackerel style candy or something like that. With a feather glued in on the side. We should also start messing around with some hot glue because I got to get ready for, I got to start tying some Albi whores. I don't have any crazy big Albi orders. I have to tie a bunch for whitewater anyway, but other than that, I'm just going to tie some stuff, and in case people need it, then I'm good to go. But I think we'll start off with a candy and kind of do a little prototype, if you will. And then we can do the roll your own fly stuff later. You want me to roll up? Yeah. Grab 2d6 and roll up a fly. What's going on, Slim Thunder? How you doing, man? I'm going to leave it on autofocus today. Let's see how it works. I was tweaking some settings on the camera and stuff like that. All right, so we need bucktail. We're going to be doing mostly bucktail for this one, but with some feathers mixed in. We got some white, and then feathers wise, let me see here. I think I know what I'm going to go with. Give me a sec, I'll grab some feathers. Wow, you got the house to yourself. All right. There you go. Party time, huh? That could actually work. Yeah. That'll work. I wasn't going to use this in particular, but yeah, this works. I was going to grab some olive, but I have some chartreuse barred hackle, which we could use. And we got chartreuse bucktail, and we got white bucktail. We got Bill's body braid. Oh god, there's stuff everywhere. We have resins, yada yada yada, thread. I just need to grab a little crystal flash. Okay. How'd the lettuce go? It went alright. We had lettuce, tomatoes. The peppers did pretty good. We have peppers that actually, we got peppers for the first time. But the lettuce turned out okay. It was alright. Wasn't the best, but not a very good tomato season either. Yeah, the lettuce was alright. The sweet peas are always the all-star. And we just keep the seeds from with the sweet peas from the pods, and we just replant them, and they just always, they're so like hardy. All right. So now we're going to, let's see, how are we going to do this in particular? I think we just tie it like a regular candy, and I want to just try throwing some feathers on the side. We'll just go ahead and palmer this up. This is annoying. I always hate when you get a little strand of body braid Let's see if we can catch it with the thread. Hey, there we go. It's just like annoying. It's not going to affect anything. Okay. Gotcha. How's the weather over there in Arizona? It's weird. It was like cooling down at night here, and then it just started getting hot again. Getting some weird New York weather for sure. So we're using a size 2 here, so I can use the rest of this bucktail that's not very long, which is kind of perfect. So we don't need to waste it. The whole idea is I want to tie some feathers along the side here, get some nice barred hackle to give us some color and some texture. Maybe not as much texture. We want a nice clean body, but as always, we're going to get all the shorter hairs out of the way so we don't have an issue gluing the fly. We don't want it to be too big. Hey, Bujika, what's up, man? Oh, I just realized I didn't have that up. Let me give you a round of applause. Thank you for the 62 months, my friend. Very kind of you. How's D&D going? We printed and painted some D&D models for Bujika. He commissioned. And he's been using them. Sending me the little updates here and there, which I love to see. Anastasia, how's it going? I hope you're doing well. So let's go 4 pieces of crystal flash here. You can tell the Albi's like the crystal meth color because their teeth are all discolored. What a good line. All of that was improv, by the way. It was just a good time. So I'm thinking we lay feathers over the bucktail and then glue it. It's kind of the idea. I've seen Popovics do this before. Ben Cleveland, what's going on? Second fly tying streamer I've found. I'm big into fly tying. Oh, hell yeah. Who's the first one you found? It was funny, when I was streaming on Twitch, there might have been a couple of people who did it before, but nobody really did it consistently. And this was like, God, 6, 7, 8 years ago, maybe. There was Australis fishing. There might have been like 1 or 2 people. Is it Point Blank? Yeah, Point Blank. There you go. Point Blank's an awesome dude. There's only like really just like 1 or 2 of us, maybe 3 at most. Point Blank does way better streams than me now. He goes out and fishes like I used to, but I'm too lazy to do that. And I have too terrible reception, so I just make YouTube videos. Point Blank's been killing it with his live streams for years with the IRL fishing. Out there in Utah. Always takes me a second to remember where he's at. What's going on, Sonny? How you doing? Norvise, very nice. I had a Norvise before, but I ended up selling it. I think if you're tying flies that are like this size, it's great, but I was tying like 12-inch flies, and I tie commercially. So I was like, it just didn't work out. But it was a really nice vise, and I gotta say, the owner of Norvise reached out to me and was like, hey, why are you selling your vise? And I was like, dude, the vise is great. It's just for the commercial saltwater stuff I do. It's just not really ideal. But they were very nice. So, and then once I started tying with Regal, I was like, yep, all right. Found my home. So the one tricky thing is going to be the feathers, right? So I'm almost thinking you put the feathers just purely on the side, like this. And that way you have to deal with less of those pointy feather bits while you're gluing it. I don't know, we're going to experiment with it. Today's experimentation day, and that's why we're also doing roll your own fly. I should also probably tie it in at a 45-degree angle, like this. I guess it helps having skinny hackle for this, but Oh yeah, Bujika, I gotta dig out those spools for you. Sell them to you for like $20 or something. I forgot what they were, like 30 or 40, but whatever. Get rid of them. Reminds me, I gotta find them. I think I know where they are. I was cleaning up the other day. Yo, Doc, what's going on? Did you get your fly, Doc? We had a fly make it to Germany, so I hope it made it to Ireland. Did I send you two? I think I sent you two. I forgot. I can only fit so many in there. I was like, I probably owe Doc a couple by now. Let me chuck a couple in there. All right, let's put some eyes on this sucker. Let's get the camera. Let's get the setup where we like it as well. Oh, very nice. Yeah, it's a great company. It's a great vice. Like I said, with Renzetti is great. Like all these are great companies. It's just whatever works for you. And I'm a Norvice. I mean a Regal Vice guy. I used Renzetti's. I used Norvice before in the past. I tied with Renzetti for years, or not like for them, but I just tied on one. Saltwater Traveler. That's what I did a lot of my commercial tying on for years. And we've been tying on Regal ever since. I want to, though, I need to send my old jaws back, and I want to send a bunch of flies as a thank you, because Don built me this one as a replacement, and they don't make this color anymore, so he has to custom do this every time that I get a new one. But I want to get the monster or something. They have the biggest jaws available. I can't fit tuna hooks on this one, so I want to be able to put like really, like essentially bait hooks, tuna bait hooks. So I want to get another one made with the purple. But before I do that, I feel like I should send them a bunch of flies as a thank you for everything they've done. And I have my old jaws. I told him if he could just save the old jaws and just put a new cast head on it and just keep the jaws. Because the jaws are so well worn in that they fit huge hooks and they're just so nice. And the jaws are like virtually indestructible. Yeah, the Norvice is if you can use that system, it's very quick, but it just didn't work for me, unfortunately. I had the whole bobbin set up, I had everything. I even saw you can hook up a power drill to the end of the thing and like spin it like and like wrap body braids and stuff. But for larger stuff, it just didn't work, unfortunately. And I also, while I do tie commercially, I still like, put a lot of effort into the flies. It's not like I'm tying like certain flies where it's, super, super, super mass produced. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'll tie 100 surf candies at a time or something, but it's not like I'm tying thousands and thousands where I need it to be like, because I still need to spend a certain amount of time on each one. So I also need a vise that's easy to work with for the stuff that I do, and that's where the Regal is nice, like this, where I can just open it in. This is so nice. Not needing to adjust anything. You just open and close. Open, put a new fly in, close. This is a small hook for this vise, so you got to be careful. If I didn't put that right and it slips, this will literally shatter the hook. It's so strong. So there's some, which is either a positive to the Regal, the Bulldog bite, or a downside, because you got to watch out. You might have shrapnel. So it's how you look at it. I think it's kind of positive. The blue one, gotcha. You got it? Okay, nice. Very nice. Nice. Very cool. Well, I love to hear it. We always love a skilled salmon fly tyer in the chat. Because you can't... that's one of my favorite... even though I don't fish for salmon, the traditional style of salmon fly tying... First off, like, the older stuff and the actual, like, fishing flies that... Stuff that's, like, reasonable to tie and fish. Like, even just, what is it, Jock Scott's or whatever. Or that one prawn fly, whatever that's called. or different salmon flies like that. I do love that style of fly tying, and that's also what heavily inspired Kenny Abrams with his flat wing style of fly tying. But then you have like the art in a shadow box salmon tires, and that's like a whole nother level of fly tying that I have an immense respect for. The guys that do the like art essentially spend like crazy amounts of time on a single fly. See, this is one of the reasons why I super glue the eyes down a lot of times. It's very rare, but you saw that one eye lifted up on me. All right, sounds good. Yeah, we got a Discord, so you can feel free to hop in and share some flies whenever you'd like. We take a, what do you call it, every week or two, we take a look at the Discord and see what people have been posting on stream, so. Yeah, that featherwing stuff is crazy. I don't think you'd ever even want to fish half those flies. They're like works of art, but. Yeah, so I just glued up 100 giant surf candy teasers in the past 2 days. I did 300 coats. So I had to go get some new resin. So this is a new resin bottle. One thing you find with bucktail surf candies, it definitely takes more finesse or just essentially more resin to get an even body, because the bucktail's all, it's not perfectly, the crinkliness of it, the stiffness of it makes it hard at times to manipulate to get that perfect surf candy body. So it either might require just either using less materials or using more resin, but there's a fine line to both. If you use too little bucktail, then you won't have enough material to actually build up a surf candy body properly. If you use too much resin, then you're going to end up with a monstrosity of a fly. So adding a feather on top of the bucktail definitely does make it a little trickier trying to get that perfect shape. Came out pretty good though. So 2 coats of medium, you get a pretty nice finish, but then we use the thin because there's little imperfections here and there. So you see there, like, for instance, right there, there's some little valleys or gaps. That's where the thin comes into play. We're going to fill that in. Yeah, I feel like I've seen Popovic do these before in his books. I feel like I've seen him run them directly down the center, and I've seen ones on top. The ones on top looks really nice. I feel like we've also tied surf candies like this with hot glue before, I feel like. Maybe not surf candies, but larger, like Albi style flies. Yeah, it came out pretty good. I think this will be the next video. I just wanted to do a test to kind of see, what do you call it? See how it glues up and how I want to do it, whether I want the feathers on the side or on top. I kind of like the feathers on top like this, though. Oh yeah, it's hard to be extremely consistent with flies. The best way to do it is to tie a bunch at once, and then you find after a while you're just like so easy to be consistent because you're doing the same action over and over again. But when you're tying one fly here, one fly there, it's very hard to be consistent. I think this bottle's out. Oh no, it's not out. Okay, there's a little bit left. I gotta make sure our resin goes back equal on either side. You see me, I always have my resin go back past the bend of the hook, and that's to prevent the fly from fouling. So you see guides do this a lot. It's something I started doing after Albi fishing a lot. And in my opinion, it almost looks better not doing it. Like if you're going for just looks on a vise. But if you're actually tying flies for people to fish, whether it be guides or a store or for yourself or whatever, it helps to ensure that the fly is going to be least likely to foul especially when it's blowing 15 miles an hour. You've been standing on the beach in October for 4 hours, and you've been seeing albies at 400 or 500 feet off the beach, a couple hundred meters. But then finally you get your shot where they come in close to shore, and you have one chance, right? Yo, Brew, thank you for the 6 to 8 months, my friend. So the last thing you want is for your fly to foul, right? And that's the way Albi fishing is a lot of times, where some days it's hot, like back in 2000, it was hot, where you could catch them all day sometimes. But there's also plenty of times where you might only get 1 or 2 opportunities the whole day to put your fly in front of the fish. And if you don't, then you're not going to get anything. Pretty brutal fishing at times, but it's very exciting. Thank you, Brew. Appreciate it, my friend. Let's get a round of applause. That's right. 68 months with that tier 1. Thank you, my friend. That reminds me, who do we gotta send out some flies. Oh, should we pick last week's video? Should we pick the winner? Or should we give it a couple more days to gestate? Where's the giveaway stuff? Oh, here we go. We got AR Fly Fisher and Jin. So I gotta send some stuff out to those guys. Oh yeah, we also want to do a rabbit strip tail deceiver, the bunny deceiver. I forgot about that. So that's something we can do as well. Should we do one of those first, or should we? What do you guys? I'm gonna let you guys vote. Do you want to see? You can just type it in the chat. Do you want to see me roll up some random flies, or do you want to see a bunny deceiver in the? You want to see a bunny deceiver, where we're essentially going to tie a deceiver but use rabbit strip for the tail. It's pretty self-explanatory. For roll your own fly, which we will be doing later no matter what. We have 2 tables, and we're going to be rolling up some random techniques and materials. And we're going to be coming up with weird, wacky flies that might be really cool. By the way, I fished the 888 hollow fly, where it's hollow, everything's hollow tied, the whole fly, with flash, squimpish hair, and ostrich and marabou. Everything's hollow tied. And the fly fished really great. Some of it was fouling a little bit. It's probably the length of the ostrich hurler in the first tie, the initial tie. But even if a little bit of the ostrich hurl is fouled, it's so soft that it like kind of flows with the body. So even if it was like, I found I didn't even need to fix it. I was just fishing it. I went fishing yesterday for a little bit, but tons and tons and tons of bait, but not a single bite or anything like that. But we'll see. When all that bait comes flushing out this fall, it's going to be good. So, yeah. Why do I need to add you, Bajika? On what? On Discord? We can already talk or whatever. I think I have it's set. I have it set up so it's just not like I don't get millions of random messages, because I was getting like spam stuff. But I think that's why it's like you need to be friends or something to send a message or something. So I always have people sending me message requests, or I don't know what the deal is. But I don't use Discord for like, oh, let me add you as a friend. But I think it's for a function is why it is. Yeah, damn, that looks good. So this is whiting American rooster barred, which normally we'd use the white on the commercially tied deceivers, the white American rooster hackle. But I like that. So essentially, you can do this with anything too. I don't know what the benefit. Well, I guess you have these little feathers dancing around in the back, right? So it probably has a little bit more action in general. It's almost like got the Albi horror effect going on here. So I guess there is a reason to tie it without the barring and just tie like pink feathers on top or something, let's say. But I feel like you'd want to tie it with the barring because it just adds some of that, I don't know, some of that color to give it a little bit more of like a natural kind of profile as it's moving, I feel like almost. Yeah, I like it. These are nice. I don't know why it took me so long to try one. I've done these before, you know what I mean? But I've just never. I feel like I'm going to add this to my arsenal, though, of flies I'm going to tie for people if they ask. So, very nice. So, we'll do a video on this. Probably coming out this weekend. I'm going to film it probably tonight. I wish I even though I record everything in 4K now, I kind of wish I had like I have a really hard time recording with OBS, like figuring out the settings to get really crisp, clean recording, because it'd be awesome to just like while we're streaming live, like right there, I could have just recorded that, right, and just edited it. But I can't record with OBS to get like really crisp, clean quality. So I guess I could what do you call it? Record on the camera while I'm streaming, but the problem is the sucker gets hot at times. So no matter what, we're not in 4K at the moment because the camera does not like sitting in 4K for hours. Bunny fly. All right, we'll tie the bunny fly. Heading to what's it called? The generator in an hour and a half. It's like home base for Burning Man in Reno, Nevada. Oh yeah, I saw like Burning Man just like what do you call it? It was like mudded up. People were like trapped at Burning Man or something. All right, bunny deceiver, huh? So I feel like we need some monofilament for the. I'm gonna use some one odd. By the way, I'm pretty much switching over to Gamakatsus, and this is how I buy them. I buy them in the 100 boxes. They're very expensive. This is like $60, $70 or something, I think, or like $60. And the 4 odds are like it's an expensive hook. But Mustad, man, they just screwed up. Like these hooks are fine that Mustad makes. The classic series of Mustad fly hooks is still dependable and good, like the 007s. But whatever they did with the new big game hooks with Mustad and the new finishes and the thinner, first off, there's a lot more defects. I'm getting a lot more hooks that are bent and the gap is all wrong. And the other thing is they rust so much quicker. The older finishes, like these silver finishes, whether it be tin or nickel or whatever it is, they just last a lot longer in saltwater. So I'm really disappointed in Mustad. They took my favorite hook that I've ever used, the big games, the C70 SDs. I'll never forget the model number because I've ordered probably about 20,000 in my life, maybe more. And they changed in what, C70 SAPs now they are, is what the model number is. And yeah, they kind of ruined them. So when it comes to the big game style hook, these are always my favorite. This is what I've always used for guides, right? Guides are like, hey, I want the Gamakatsus. I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to charge you more money because these are like, sometimes these are like $1 a hook for like a 4-odd, for instance. But they don't rust very easily. You still got to wash your flies after you use them in salt. But they're just strong and dependable. So I've always used the Gamakatsu SL12S, the big games. But this is probably what I'm going to switch over to for stuff like my surf candies and stuff. It means I'm going to have to charge more money, a little bit more money. But it's better than, like, you know, I'm not the sort of guy that washes my flies after every use and stuff, too. I'll, like, rinse the rod. But I'll throw flies in the box. And sometimes they'll sit, you know what I mean? So, like, what do you call it? I don't want, like, high-maintenance hooks that, you know, are supposed to be, like, that are cheap too, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, if you want your hooks to rust less, like for instance, they'll rust around, always cut off the monofilament. Let's say you have loops, because I always do mono loops. Always cut the mono loops off, because whatever reason, if you leave your mono loop on, it's more likely to rust than the hook eye. I don't know why, it just is. And the other thing is, you'll find it like rust around where the hook points are and stuff like that. If you have like a foam box, it's tricky. And the thing that really sucks about that is when your hooks start rusting really severely in one spot, like near the eyes or something, is that they're pretty much like not usable. Because one thing if it's on like the point of the hook, you can sharpen your hooks and you can clean them up a lot of times. But if you got like rust over here and it's once they get to a certain point, you got to chuck it away essentially. So kind of really sucks when you fish with a fly a couple times and then it rusts, especially because of the what do you call it? Certain boxes, like foam boxes that you stick the fly into the foam, stuff like that. When the fly's wet, it really exacerbates the rusting of the hook. So yeah, it's probably the salts like that's on the monofilament and it leaches out. Like even the dried salt over time leaches out into the metal. Corrosion's a crazy thing. Corrosion's wild. Okay. So bunny deceiver. Now the one thing is I do need monofilament. Don't know. Like I know for a fact I have some stiff mono somewhere. I just don't know where, and I don't necessarily want to look a bunch. So I'm gonna take like not even 1 minute, like 30 seconds. I'm gonna look for some mono, and if not, then I don't know. We'll tie one without or something. Let me see here. I'm sure I have some. It just let me take a look. Is there some here? Oh, was it in there? We made eyes. No. Ah. It was the last out of the 4 places I looked, but I found some. All right. Okay. So the whole point to this is when you tie with rabbit strips, it's very, very soft and it fouls very, very easily. So there's 2 ways you can deal with rabbit strips. Okay. You can take your rabbit strip and you can poke a hole in it, stick the monofilament through the hole, and then burn the end so it becomes round so it doesn't slip back through easily. And then your rabbit strip sticks out and you're less likely to foul, right? That was a very common way that, especially back in the 90s and stuff, you'd see. You don't really see that as often now because it seems like this is more of a preferred way to do it. I feel like this works most of the time to where you're fine. A lot of times the other way is almost like a guarantee it's not going to foul. Not, I wouldn't say guarantee. It'll still foul at times. But the problem with poking a hole through the rabbit strip is that when a fish will grab it after time, it'll rip. You're making a tear in the rabbit strip itself, right? So I might need to turn autofocus off, but we'll see. How was me tying the last fly with autofocus? Was it all right? Or was it focusing on my hands the whole time? But so with the loop like this will generally kind of stop the rabbit strip from fouling. But you kind of want it to be like a somewhat substantial loop, in my opinion, for it to actually work. So something like this. And you also kind of want it to be tied secure enough on the hook shank to where it's not going to get ripped off when you're manhandling the hook out of a fish's mouth or something. It's pretty simple. You just tie both ends flat next to each other. No, I like to kind of go like that. Work on it a little bit. And there's our mono loop. Now this is where we probably take a little bit of super glue. Just a little bit so it'll dry quick. I don't need to wait for it. let's see. Yeah, we just used chartreuse. Let's use it again, shall we? Now, the only downside to rabbit trips, it's an amazing material. It looks amazing in the water, has a ton of movement, is the amount of fluff that's going to be flying off of this. So a little fun fact, if you weren't freaked out enough, one of the reasons why I stopped trying to hunt squirrels when I was out deer hunting with my traditional bow was that I learned about there's some pneumonia disease or something that you get from processing rabbits or squirrels. And you can get, like, just breathing in their hair while you're cutting it. You can get it, apparently. But it's particularly also in, like, the organs of them. But it was some sort of, like, pneumonia disease that just, like, essentially can kill you or something. But I was, like, reading that while deer hunting one day, sitting in a bush with my recurve bow, just sitting on the ground, like, waiting for deer. From that point on, all the squirrels got a free rein. They were just, like, walking around me while I was sitting. Before that, I was trying to get one. I was like, I'm going to eat a squirrel. People ate squirrels. I was like, I wanted to see what it's like when the apocalypse comes. What squirrel's going to taste like, you know? Why not? And everyone I shot at, and my bow, I mean, mind you, I'm not using a compound bow. It's a recurve bow, but these, they still fly pretty quick. 170, 180, 210 feet per second. And they hit like a freaking brick house. With like a recurve bow and a heavy arrow with a heavy broadhead, you can shoot through a metal drum, like a 55-gallon drum. Not like straight through, but you can shoot through one side of it, right? With a fixed broadhead. There's videos of people doing it with the Safari broadheads. I think it's an Australian company. But what do you call it? You'd shoot at these squirrels, and it would be like Neo in the Matrix. The arrow would be flying. It'd be doing its paradoxic, or the paradox, you know, where the arrows like slow motion, you're seeing it, and as it's about to hit, the squirrel does like this John Wick Neo motion and like backflips right next to the arrow, and then just runs every single time. I was like, at some point I was like, you know what, I'm not even gonna shoot at him anymore, also because the pneumonia hair thing. But the immense respect I gained because squirrels are, I watch squirrels all the time sit in my backyard, but when you shoot an arrow at one, you see the thing, like, essentially perform like a nat 20 in D&D is what it did. Yeah. Like, whoa, my God. I was like, all right, you win, squirrels. You win. I was just going to throw them in the crock pot, you know what I mean? A little barbecue sauce. I wasn't going to make a habit out of it, but I was curious. I was like, every man's got to eat squirrel once in his life. All right. Let's, so we got our rabbit strip. We got some crystal flash. We're tying a deceiver, so you got to use crystal flash because it's a deceiver. Rest in peace, Lefty. So now we're going to take some body braid, because we're just tying this like a regular deceiver. The question is, how can we take this and how can we put our own touch on it? I'm sure there's some wild stuff we could do. Looking pretty good. So now just bucktail as we usually do for a deceiver. Nice and simple. Nothing fancy, excuse me. And generally I like it to be about 2/3 or 1/3. You don't want it to go all the way, because otherwise the rabbit strip's not going to do anything. So we'll probably go almost like, yeah, 1/2 or 1/3 here. Because if you tie too much of that material on there, that rabbit strip isn't going to be able to breathe in the water. What's going on, Raph? How you doing? Now, the real question I want to know, has anyone tried the roll your own fly dice game? Has anyone done it themselves? I want to see if you guys try it. I want to see it in the Discord. I'm curious. You can go on Google, type roll 2d6, and it'll roll 2 dice. You pick the first one to be the technique, the second one to be the materials. I haven't made a sheet yet, but you can always just pause the video or something and be like, all right, cool, it's like this. Or make your own. Write down your own 6 techniques and your own 6 types of materials, for instance. Oh, very cool. Nice, Raf. So normally I'm going to add a little pink, but normally what I would do is tie it on first and then do the chartreuse. I'm actually going to tie it on the cheeks, though. But yeah, I mean, that looks great. I'm going to be honest with you. If you're going to throw throw deceivers for Albis, right? Tying them in bunny strip form is probably a good way of doing it. You know what I mean? If you're going to tie some sort of deceiver style, because you can just tie them Slim Mickelson style, but I feel like the rabbit. I've always loved throwing rabbit strips for Albis and Bonitos. I don't know what it is. There's something about rabbit strip in the water that really gets them going. Like rabbit strip candies, I always do really well with. For whatever reason, I don't know what. You tied a mackerel fly? Oh, very cool. Very nice. Yeah, unfortunately, we don't really get like mackerel inshore here. They're more like offshore. But I wish we had like a cool mackerel bait fishery and stripers were eating mackerels like in the bay. Like it was, Boston Harbor or something. We'll try it on the outside. Normally, I think it looks better on the inside, but really get that pink cheek in there, you know what I mean? Oh, I don't know if I have peacock curl. I think I need to get some peacock curl. Might a little heavy on the pink on that side, but that's fine. If I have peacock curl, I'd add it. I don't know if I have it. I have remnants of peacock curl, which, screw it, let's use it. I would like to try to make some resin dice. Oh, you mean like pour resin? Like how they make like tables with resin and stuff like that? Yeah, you could definitely do that. There's people that make custom dice. Whether their own or like companies or something. Hey, what's going on, Paul? How you doing? Use red rabbit strips with a jig head? Oh, yeah. Well, red and white is a classic color. For stripers, really, I think anything. I think red and white is just, there's something about it. White, in general, for fish, is usually a really good color. Very generic, but if you had one color for striped bass, it'd be white. All the old time, that's what everyone's been using since the 40s. It's a white bucktail jig with a red, either pork rind or something off the back. And you can fish all year for the rest of your life with that thing. If you had one jig that would last you and it was guaranteed it would never fall off and rust and stay sharp, you could just fish with the one jig. And like if you just had to tie a bucktail on it, for instance. Every single truck during the fall has a surf rod with a white bucktail jig and a red strip off the back here in the fall. That's good. It's for a reason. Ah, okay, nice. You getting a 3D printer? Nice. Yeah, I got a resin one, so you'll be printing minis in no time. Just make sure to wear protective equipment, which is gloves and a respirator. And wash your hands. Don't get it on your skin. Don't get the resin on your skin. Make sure you wash your hands thoroughly so there's no cross contamination, because uncured resin is nasty stuff. So I tried doing it in my room the first day I got it. Had all my windows open. Immediately got nauseous and sick after like an hour or two. So I have a freaking grow tent with an outlet fan that I have my 3D printer in, and it sucks all the fumes out, and it's in my basement too. So I watch videos and people are like sticking their hands in UV resin and like touching it and stuff, and I'm like, you guys are crazy. I wear like double layer gloves. I wear a full, like, if you were gonna paint a car respirator, that's what I wear. Glasses as well, because I've gotten resin in my eyes before and it's terrible. But I have also saved I've probably printed about $8,000 worth of Warhammer stuff for like a couple $100 worth of UV resin bottles over the years. So, you know what I mean? And a lot of that, like, my friends were also having me print stuff, so people were like buying me bottles. Whoa, Paul Bridgers! Welcome to the LI Flies Club. That's right. Round of applause. Get some LI Flies hearts, or if you don't have any emotes in the channel, get some 07s. I've been watching Morty and Glory on YouTube, who does miniature stuff. And 07 is a salute. I'm not even going to lie, I streamed on Twitch for years, and I didn't know what 07 meant. I was like, what does 07 mean? But it's a salute. So you could type 07 in chat. Thank you, Paul Bridgers. Appreciate that. Thank you, my friend. Always commenting on the videos, helping our engagement. I appreciate it. So thank you for the support. So what you do is you're going to get a notification when I upload my videos, because I always try to upload them generally at least a day. It's either like a day or two early. If I'm really on a roll during the year, then it'll be like a week early. But members get early access to videos, so it'll be like a day or two before it comes out. So just as a little thank you. But what I need to do is make more emotes and stuff so you guys can use those. But thank you, I appreciate it. Yeah, the algorithm, the engagement. I don't chill in my videos. I should. I really should say, please subscribe to the channel. Please like the video. Please comment so the Terminator future Skynet bots that run Google's algorithm don't make my video that I spent hours on get 100 views, and maybe instead get 1,000 views in the first week. You know what I mean? Like, the first 24 hours are so pivotal for a video, but I've chosen not to. I'm not like, you know, I don't want to beg in my video or be like, hey, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, smash that like button. You know what I mean? So I just leave it up to the gods, the YouTube gods. If people like it, they'll like it. But, for instance, Paul here is commenting on like every video, and I'm sure YouTube sees that and they're like, hey, people like this video. So thank you, Paul. I appreciate it. Look at that. We got a nice clean head on there. That's the thing I love about doing deceiver style heads. And I mean, I guess you could always add a little bit more, but I straight from the bottle like this. And you can get a really nice finish. You don't even need to touch the bodkin. It's one of the things I love about doing deceiver style heads with UV resin. How's the boat coming along? It's sitting in the same spot in my yard it has been. I bought a trim unit, but I can't get the steering to move. So I'm thinking like I just got to save up and just get a motor is really the realistic option. So I don't have the space and the skills to, or like the tools to take the motor off of the boat myself and then like try and repair the section where the motor turns. It's like a shaft that sticks into this housing and it's probably all rusted and frozen in there. So I don't even know if I can even buy the part or like the bushings and the O-rings and the fittings and like, so I'm like, I think I should just get a used motor, like a 130 or something, or, you know, for 8 grand eventually, but I don't have 8 grand. So I'm just paying my bills and doing all that. So I'm just trying to slowly save some money, but it's like, it's the problem with boats, man. It's not a poor man's game and I'm a poor man, you know? So I tie flies for a living, but I chose to do this, so. Yeah, Raph, you don't got to donate or nothing. Don't worry about donating, becoming a member. Just watching a YouTube video that you like helps the content creator that makes those YouTube videos. That's that's the easiest way to, if you like content that people makes, just watch it. And if it's not too big of a deal, leave a like on there or something. That's all. And I'm not saying you got to do that for me. I'm just saying for anything in general, for somebody that, you enjoy what they make on YouTube, for instance. Yeah, don't. And I never tell you guys. You guys never need to donate. You never need to become a member or anything like that. It's totally optional. But for the people that do, it's great. It means a lot. So, but you'll never hear me say like, "Come on, guys, we need 5 more subs. Otherwise, I'm going to shut the stream off." You know? But don't ever feel obligated to donate or pay for anything that's free on the internet. You know what I mean? If you want to support it, you can. But if somebody's like, "You got to pay me," no, you don't. Unless it's like a freaking, they have their own website or something and you're trying to watch something there. It's one thing, but on YouTube it is. You may not be able to watch their member videos and stuff, but it is what it is. I don't have any members only videos. Maybe in the future. I was thinking like what I do is I have my very edited down fly tying videos. What if I just throw up the raw videos? And just put like music or something, because a lot of times I have AC in the background, so I don't want to like have the actual audio. What if I just put like and slightly edit it, but it's like going to be like 30-40 minutes of just uncut, essentially, fly tying. So I was like, if I ever do members only, it's going to be stuff like that. It'll be like longer versions of videos where the content's already free. So I don't like the idea of like being like, "Oop, you should pay so you could watch this, otherwise you're not going to watch it." Oh yeah. Well, D&D stuff's cool, but I'm a Savage Worlds guy. This is the game I play. And speaking of which, I'll show you guys. I've yet to fully. This is the game that I DM, that I dove into. All of my friends, they all play D&D. They all DM D&D. They're like, you want to do it? I said, hell no. We're gonna play a different game if we're doing it, because I'm not a Wizards of the Coast shill anymore. So Savage Worlds is essentially, you could go from fighting goblins to being on a spaceship to being in death metal doom land. It's like you can pretty much do anything in it. It's a very open-ended game, which I like for a DM. You know what I mean? I don't like having too set defined like worlds and rules and all that. But that being said, I love playing D&D, like my friend who DMs. But I'm a Savage Worlds guy. All right. So we got our bunny deceiver. By the way, I like it. I think I would tie it probably, what do you call it? I'm thinking maybe I should have added a little bit more bucktail on the belly, but at the same time, like you kind of want it to be somewhat sparse, because I was talking about like if we were tying it for Albies or something. So yeah, I'm gonna keep this in my box. I'm gonna hopefully hitch a ride on somebody's boat and go Albi fishing. If not, screw it. I'm just gonna go drive to the rocks and stand on the rocks for 6 hours. Like, it's gonna suck, and I don't even know if the fish are coming into the inlet. But like, I need to catch some albies. It's been almost like 4 years, and I need to make a video on albies. So I need footage, new footage of albies. I want to do a video on fly fishing for albies and stuff like that, discussing them. So I need like footage. So I'm gonna have to get out there. It's gonna be tough, but I'm hoping I can hitch a ride with like Jeff or what do you call it? One of my customers soon. So. Because until that boat does get a new motor on it, my boat, it ain't going anywhere. So, and I was thinking about it. I was like, well, I'm not ready to drown in a kayak yet. Maybe one of these days. But what do you call? I was like, should I take the kayak out in the ocean? I have a really nice kayak. I would say it's unsinkable. It's sinkable in the ocean. But that Old Town, you put the motor on a calm day, I could probably get out there. You know what I mean? But I was like, no, I would definitely drown if I went out there in that thing. 100%. Because something, just something's going to go wrong. You just know something's going to go wrong. And things go wrong real quick when you're out in the ocean. So I was like, that's all right. I'll hitch a ride with somebody. If not, I'll go fish from the rocks. It sucks, man, going from having a boat or like working on boats to fishing from shore again. Like you get so spoiled fishing from boats, being able to just drive 10 miles, 5 miles, just change your areas and fishing styles completely different. Meanwhile, to fish one area from shore, it could take hours to kind of just check a place out and then have to walk back and this and that. So it sucks. It definitely, I'm like, oh man, I miss it. Miss the boat life. It spoils you is what it does, definitely. Because I was so used to grinding it out from shore and catching fish from shore and just hiking and, it sucks to suck, but that's how it is. You might drive an hour to go somewhere during the fall and there's no fish and you heard that they were back in your hometown where, you should have stayed, but it is, that's fishing. So. But I need to get out there. I need to catch an Albi. I'm like a crackhead. I'm like starting to scratch my neck. It's been too long. So, hey, Raph. All right. Enjoy. Good luck. Have a great weekend. All right. So that being said, we got a bunny deceiver and we got these. These are gonna be 2 videos that we're gonna do. I might go fish this a little bit. See, I might tweak it myself. Change it up. But probably just do it standard. I don't know about the pink on the sides. We'll probably just do a fuller dressed white belly, maybe something like olive on top, or pink, or however you want to do it. Maybe pink tail, chartreuse top, whatever it may be. But this right here, this is probably one I'm going to film tonight or tomorrow, and will be coming out Sunday, is the feather candy is what I'm going to call it. So, which is just a variation on Popovic's flies, and he's already done that before, but we got to give it a nice little catchy name. I should probably check out the Pop's fly book and see if he did name it. But what we are going to do is we're going to roll up our own flies. So if you haven't, check out the we have 2 videos on this on the YouTube channel. There's the first one, which kind of just is us like coming up with this whole thing on stream. I think it was like 3 or 4 weeks ago. And the concept and the idea, and we wrote the tables. We've revised it since. But essentially what we're going to do is we have 2 dice. The red dice will determine 1 to 6 options for the technique. And what I mean by technique is we have spinning, figure 8, V-tie, standard, high-low ties, and the hollow tie. Those are the techniques that we have available. So if we roll a 3, we're going to be V-tying. And then to determine what type of material, we have the black dice, which is one is a wastebasket, which right now my wastebasket's pretty full. I also have some UV resin that was in there, so that's going to be a pain. But, like some UV resin covered pieces of paper or whatever. But we have natural hairs, synthetic hairs, feathers, flash, and we have you pick, which is always nice. You get to pick your own options. But the way you folks come into play is you're going to recommend the materials. So if we get synthetic hairs and we need to hollow tie it, that's where I'm going to come in and ask, all right, what do you think we should use, chat? You know what I mean? Say your suggestions. I have virtually damn near most materials. Some stuff I don't have, but we can always find something that's similar. So that's the premise behind it. That's the idea. We also have this as a video series where we go out and then take them out and fish them. So that's we've done one episode where we foul hooked a ray, cow nose ray. That was interesting. The high-low tide deceiver, flash deceiver. So I do need to film another episode of that. A good excuse to go fishing. I'll probably do that this week, where there's less people out. This weekend's probably gonna be busy. So, anyways, I am gonna take a quick break. I am gonna grab another seltzer because I'm getting pretty thirsty here. I'm running low, and we'll play the Albi video, and maybe we'll try and tie an Albi fly, rolling our own fly or something. So, I don't see a corn fly in there. Oh God, this cornfly saga that we've had. I still haven't tied you a cornfly and sent it to you. How do we? Let's do it right now. I'm gonna tie you a cornfly right now. How about that? Does a size 2 hook work for carp? I've been putting this off for too long, Slim Thunder. Your time has come. I don't know how to do this, though, but I guess we're just going to try it. Is that too big for a carp? It's been 3 years. I was like, yeah, I'll tie a corn fly. Size 2. There you go. That's what I got for yellow material. Now I need to figure out how to make that into the shape of a corn. Now the other thing is it needs to be semi-durable. Right? Like you kind of want it to be somewhat, not super hard, but you kind of want it, like a piece of corn isn't really soft, right? But you also kind of want it to last. So this is going to be like a giant corn kernel, or like 2 corn kernels stuck together. So maybe I do like resin on the inside and then cure it or soak some flex resin. I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to do this, but we'll figure it out. It's going to be a little flashy too, but it's just the sun shining off of it. Yeah, Slim Thunder's been watching for years. At some point I was like, yeah, I'll tie a corn fly. He probably won the giveaway or something. And it's never happened. So we're going to do it right now. We've been putting it off. Oh, I think this is actually probably super simple. We do it like this. We just got to break down the material quite a lot because I don't want to have to trim it and then get a weird shape. I kind of like the unevenness of it. And Slim Thunder catches a lot of carp. And you know those carp guys, man, they love their corn. I don't know what they're doing with those cobs. I don't know how they're getting the corn off the cobs. We can use our own imagination. But God only knows how they're getting the corn off of the cob. I don't want to know. It's carp guys, you got to watch out. They'll be out there sleeping in tents, throwing corn at carp. Flex resin. I don't even know if we need resin, to be honest with you. I mean, we kind of... I was thinking maybe like liquid fusion. Like, what if we make the core kind of stiff, but we leave this kind of like soft... You know what I mean? What if we kind of leave like the outside kind of... All right, here's what we'll do. We'll tie 2 versions. We'll tie one now, and then at the end of stream, we'll tie one with resin. I'm going to tie one without any resin. Just pure Seno's laser dub tied in like an egg shape almost, if you will, you know, like a corn kernel egg shape. And then we'll do one where we like either coat it or something. This one I just want to leave it like is. I'm curious how this one is going to work. We got to send them. We can't just send them one corn fly after 3 years. We got to send them 2. That's the most you're getting though. I ain't giving you more than 2. You know what I mean? Be zoom tight. I forgot to mute that, by the way. I thought it would add comedic effect to the not 1, but I'll give you 2, but no more. But I try not to burp on stream, so I apologize. This is going to be like a massive piece of corn. But it also, you know, I'm going to get the biggest carp. That's what they say. Use the biggest piece of corn. Bunch of corn suckers. Carp. Slurp it right up. Yeah, the funny thing is, like, if you just asked me for a surf candy, you would have gotten it years ago. But a corn fly, I'm like, I gotta tie a corn fly? That's a small corn kennel? Look at the size of my thumb, dude. What the hell kind of corn are you eating, Bujika? What the hell kind of corn are they serving up there in Arizona? Area 51 corn? I feel like I just had corn recently. I don't think I've ever seen a corn kernel this big. Like if we stopped on the first 2 ties, maybe. They got that Monsanto, extra Monsanto corn out there or something. They're like, yeah, we got giant corn. Friday already, hell yeah, brother. Time's flying by. Before we know it, I'll be 55. Be really fucked. Yeah, this will float pretty good. Just gonna definitely be a ball. And then we got to use really, 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 really short Senos laser dub for the end because we got to taper it. If you ain't tapering your corn flies. Best for carp in Nevada. Oh, you got like the jumbo carp corn? I'm talking about like a normal corn you eat. Like, you eat corn? I thought it was just for carp. Alright, there we go. Only took 3 years. I mean, I think that'll work. Like, you just chuck that. It's gonna float. No doubt about it. It's gonna float. Do you even have a fly rod, Slim Thunder? I forgot. Are you gonna throw this with a spinning rod with like a floater? I think you do. But now I don't even remember you talking about fly fishing. That reminds me too, like that reminds me how unhinged you used to be in the chat. You getting like timed out in like Sequisha's chat, and I'm like, who the hell's this guy in my chat doing Slim Thunder things? You've definitely calmed down by now, I remember. That reminds me. Oh, good. You're doing too many dabs or something. I remember, like, people were like, who the fuck is this guy? Yeah, just like, yeah, just, that's it. Don't worry, he's like that. All right. There we go. Corn on the cob. We'll do one more of these, all right? And then let me write down, too. I have this. Let me write down Slim Thunder. Corn giveaway. Corn giveaway. Slim Thunder. Okay, there we go. That'll remind me. Yeah, I think flex resin might be the call for that one, Paul. Like, if you just take this and you do a light coat of flex resin on it, you're gonna get like a carapace, a corn carapace, essentially, right? Which could be interesting. All right, quick break. Albi highlight. God bless the Albis, and we're gonna roll our own fly when we get back. All right. So appreciate you, Chad. Thank you so much for hanging out. We're not done, but thank you for chilling so far. So we'll be back in just a moment. Un momento, por favor. Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. Stay tight, all right? Yeah, keep it tight. Yeah, dude. Yeah, Aiden. Knuckle buster. Are you good? Do you need me to do anything?
Yeah, I might need a ride. Yes.
Okay. Hold on, I'm gonna turn now.
I'm gonna try and get on the bow.
Yeah, get on the bow. All right, you're doing good. Keep doing your thing. I'm gonna move us away.
Is that a little one?
No, that's a nice one.
Oh, let's go!
Come here, hold next to Allie. Good job.
That's sick.
All right. Nice.
Let's go! Woo! Albi slap!
Good job, dude.
Yee-yee-yee!
Looking down the barrel of a 12 gauge little toonie, bro. On the Albi door, too. Oh my God, dude! what the fuck? Woohoo! Oh my God. Yep. Oh my God! I gotta turn the boat so I can cast. Oh my God, dude! All right, we're back. Oh, Albies, Albies, Albies. I gotta catch one. Okay. So, what the hell are we gonna do for roll your own fly? Well, we're gonna figure it out. Let's see. Got another sheet here. Write everything down. Okay. Let's see. So this is where I'm going to ask you guys, what are the, like we're going to pick the material, or it's going to determine what type of materials. You guys give me recommendations for what they are. And you can type them in the chat whenever. But, all right. For the first, this is going to be the tail section. We always do tail, body, head. Let's see the tail. 6. So we're going to be hollow tying feathers. Okay. That's going to be interesting. We might want to do ostrich. We've determined that's pretty good. Tail, hollow feathers. So the whole idea behind this too, by the way, is stepping outside of our normal boundaries and fly tying and trying to do something different and seeing if we end up with something that's interesting or useful. So body section is going to be V-tied material from the wastebasket. We finally got wastebasket. Looks like we're going to be V-tying bucktail scraps. Oh, we just put some of that Senos laser dub in the wastebasket. So a 1 is generally bad in tabletop games, whether it be role-playing games or like rolling the lowest denominator in the dice. It's usually a bad thing. So we're like, let's put wastebasket at 1. You know what I mean? V-tie waste. And it's a good excuse to use the wastebasket. That's something we used to do in fly tying clubs and stuff. For me and my friends back in the day when we were younger and fly tying, we'd specifically take whatever's in our wastebasket and tie flies with it. Okay. As a challenge, if you will. Last section is the head section. We are V-tying the wastebasket for the head. Okay. I tend to roll the same numbers a lot. Now, like I did say earlier, I did chuck a UV resin cap. And I did some of this paper I cleaned off UV resin with it and stuff and hot glue. So There's bits of foam in there. There's a little wrapper from a nut bar. Or half. I don't know if we'll be using that stuff, but there's a bucktail. Just looking in there, we got some flashy. What do you call it? I'm actually put this to the side. This is what we're using. But really, probably what we're going to be using is I tied a bunch of surf candies. There's also marabou in there, it looks like. But that's marabou scraps. Ooh, there's a feather. I'm taking the feather. No, we can't V-tie that. We can't use the feather. Oh, look at that. There's like EP fiber in here. Let's start fishing through and seeing what we can actually use for the body and head section. Yeah, we got some of this like craft fur from the video, from the surf candy video. That'll work. The tiny craft fur for V-ties, but we're probably going to want to blend all of this with bucktail is what I'm thinking. So like this bucktail scraps are what we're going to be V-tying, for instance. And maybe we'll blend it with that EP fiber. So we'll take some of this pink and white. That should be good. Okay. And we'll just use that for the body and the head. And then we're going to hollow tie feathers for the tail. This should be an interesting fly, I'm not going to lie. Let's see if we can blend this stuff together somehow. Don't ask me how. So this is a mix of like the under fur from craft fur that I always throw away. And this is scraps of bucktail from me trimming the bucktail to get a nice clean cut to then tie it in for a surf candy body. So that is the material we're using. How many people here do the wastebasket thing? I don't do it nowadays, but like when I was younger and fly tied or at a club or with my friend, because I had a friend who I essentially got him hooked into fly fishing and fly tying at a young age at like 11, 12. And when you're a kid and your parents buy everything, your parents don't have a ton of money. We didn't have a ton of stuff. So the wastebasket was a genuine way to tie more flies. You know what I mean? Now I have enough materials that I can probably stop tying flies for a living and have materials for like the next 20, 30 years. I mean, I'd run out of bucktail, but if it just comes to random materials, I would just never run out of materials. I have so much of it here. Just random things I've accumulated over the years and stuff that I've had to buy for jobs, essentially. For orders. But I'm curious how many people actually tie with their wastebasket. Either regularly or every once in a while as like a fun little thing. Or a genuine way of tying with it. Got a little blend here of something. Trying to like, this craft fur under fur does not like, it's not very easy to mix it in with the bucktail. So let's open it up a little. I also think what we'll do is we'll get all the really long bucktail hairs out of there. Excuse me. Or we can always take those and cut them in half. Well, I guess maybe as we move up the hook shank, we start tapering the length of the material because it's all V-tied, right? So yeah, give it a try. I mean, it only works if you have a wastebasket thing. I guess if you have a dedicated like little trash can for fly tying next to your desk, that could work. The main thing is you know, it's after you've tied for a bit. It doesn't really work when there's nothing in there. But if you've tied various flies with various materials over the past couple weeks and you've got a bunch of different types of stuff in there, just give it a go. Tie a fly with either nothing but it or use this sort of like game that we created that gives you the opportunity to use it in your fly tying. Take this stuff and cut it down. Okay. Let me clean my desk real quick. We made a mess here. Need a vacuum tomorrow. I end up vacuuming quite a lot, being that I fly tie every day, so. Full right now? Oh, there you go. Perfect timing. Perfect timing. Okay. I will, this, unfortunately, we didn't really get to take many recommendations from you folks because of saying everything, but we do have hollow tied feathers. So, what do you guys think I should use for hollow tied feathers? Now that I'm just almost laughing because it's like a ridiculous question. But, what do you guys think I should hollow tie for feathers? Now, if you've watched the AAA video, what we found out is hollow tying ostrich hurl with inside of the ostrich hurl also hollow tying marabou creates an actual usable technique, an actual material that is viable for hollow tying that's not just bucktail. So that's probably what we'll use, but if you guys have any recommendations, maybe what we'll do is we'll also take some feathers and mix that in with it. Like flatwing style. The ostrich. Yeah, I think we're going to try with hackle as well. We're going pink here, so I'm going to use pink. I need to order white. I'm running really low on white. Yeah, let's feathers wise for this. Something like that, I suppose. Some sort of thinner feather. And for the ostrich hurl, I don't really have any white, unfortunately. So we're just going to use this fluorescent bright pink, but this is some really nice ostrich hurl I have here. I can't even show you the entire, let me zoom out, but this is from Manhattan, from a Manhattan feather shop on the, or Manhattan, yes, feather shop on the Feather District in Manhattan, where they have like Fashion Week. It's like a super fancy store my buddy went into in Manhattan where they sell boutique feathers for fashion stores or fashion designers. And it's the nicest ostrich hurl for fly time we've ever found. Some of it is like legitimately 9 inches, 11 inches long. It's crazy. Shout out to Tyler. I have not heard from him in years. Last I heard, I got a new phone, but last I heard he was heading down to Mexico to go bone fishing and tarpon fishing before moving up somewhere north. And then COVID hit. So, and there's a good chance he just drove down. I was like, I hope he didn't get stranded in Mexico during COVID or something, but I don't know. I hope. Shout out Tyler. Ty, if you ever see this, reach out to me. That dude was cool. Is cool. I'm not going to talk about him like he's dead or something. I just haven't heard from him in years, so. But he picked this up for me. So, I'm going to grab some of this stuff in the back here. For hollow tying it, we need a decent amount. Because it's not like bucktail. One thing you learn is you're going to have to learn how to tie with materials in ways that you've never used them before when you do roll your own fly. So it definitely adds another level of, what the hell am I going to do? But we figured this out, which was pretty cool, so I'm all for it. So I'm going to taper these down to a usable length for myself. Like, I don't know if we will. I was like, I want to tie an Albi fly with the roll your own fly challenge, but a roll your own fly table. But I don't want to make it too long. I think that's okay. So this will be a larger fly. We're going to use a 2-odd. Just because I want something. I don't know how. I don't necessarily know how V-tying all this material for the body and the head's going to be. So I want to make sure I have a hook that's heavy enough to keel it properly. Yeah, Paul, what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on making a PDF. So anybody can either download it or print it. You know, and you could just print it, and then if you don't have dice, you can go on Google and just type roll me 2d6, and it'll roll 2 dice for you. Or roll a d6 and then roll a d6. But that's one of the reasons why we switched to a d6 is a lot of people might have d6 dice around, whether it be from different games, from Yahtzee, or, you know, there's many different reasons why you might have that. So, we are just hollow tying feathers. That means we can't use bucktail, we can't use anything. When you do it, I try to stick to it when we roll up a thing, right? Even though it might make sense to like tie bucktail in with this hollow tie to support it, we're going to just straight use feathers. Need some more. And what we're going to do is, what you learn tying hollow ties is whatever you tie first will be on the outside when you fold it back. Right now, it's going to be on the inside if we tie something on top of it. So the whole idea is by adding the marabou inside, we're going to create some support. Making a little bit of a mess here, but that's okay. Now, there is also a natural curve to the ostrich turtle that you want to try and keep. It's kind of tough when I had to taper it. But here's a good example of this natural curve here. And some of these are curving up, but these are curving down like that. Even ostrich turtle has a natural curve to it and stuff like that. So I definitely would have never, ever tried doing this where I've just took feather. Oh, damn. Well, I guess now is a good time to do it. I wanted to do it on the outside, but we're going to do it now. I don't know how this is going to affect things, but we're going to hollow tie feathers. I've never done this before. I forgot we had feathers. I was going to do this first. So the whole idea is I was going to tie the feathers first, but whatever. Let's see what happens. I don't know if this is going to ruin it, but it might screw up the ostrich tie, but we'll see. We're experimenting. And you want the feathers sitting with the curve outwards, so when we fold it back, it'll be curve in is the idea. I don't know if this is going to work. Never tried it. Now I got to get this feather to try and sit flat. It's not cooperating with me at the moment. See if I can get it to. It's better. Yeah, ideally, I think if we did the feathers first, we'd be okay. We'll see what happens, though. I don't think it's like we ruined it, but let's see what happens. Now, marabou, let's go. Screw it. We'll go pink. I was going to go white, but screw it. We're going pink. All pink sluggos are very popular for Albis. So it definitely is nothing wrong with using an all pink fly for striped bass or Albis. For sure. There's Mike's Pink Punch. The only reason I say it is funny because I sent flies to this guy and he put them. He sent it an article to Fly Tire magazine, and we have like 2 or 3 fly. I think it's like 2 flies on the cover, or 1 fly on the cover, and 2 in the back of the magazine. I'll show you guys at the end of the stream here. Remind me. But he named an all pink. It was just an all pink bucktail deceiver, but those are the flies that I was fishing every day and stuff and tying back then. And so he called it the Mike's Pink Punch. But yeah, I'm pretty happy to say that. I didn't write an article myself, but someone else did, but featuring all my flies, so nothing original, but just my style of tying and stuff or whatever, examples of effective patterns for the area. That was cool. So now we're gonna hollow tie. Let's get it. Let's get it. Again, I don't know how this is gonna work. It's part of the fun of it. I think if we did the feathers first, it would have been just easier in general to manipulate and handle, but... So it looks like the feathers aren't gonna lay the way that I want them. However they lay, I don't care. If they lay backwards, they lay forwards, whatever. It'd be ideal for them to lay with the curve inwards, but I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know if we're gonna be able to get that to happen at the moment. So, you know what? If they want to lay outwards, screw it. That's fine with me. We do that with squid flies, so. Oh, the other thing is we want to make sure that the ostrich is kind of... So this is where you can see having enough ostrich really helps. Because it's not like bucktail. So you just want to make sure it's spread around evenly. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, worst case, what you do on the water is you just rip the feathers out. The saddle hackle. If it's like fouling, right? What I'll do is I'll take this. Let's say I go fishing and I'm like, oh, okay, the feathers are annoying. I'll just rip them out. I already know the ostrich and the marabou works. So you can always tweak flies on the water. Don't be afraid to manipulate them. But, I mean, that works right there. Look. And we have a genuine hollow tie. Like, look at the profile of the hollow tie. You know what I mean? It has the actual, and it has some stiffness to it as well. It doesn't completely collapse in the water. It's not as stiff as bucktail, but you are able to do a hollow tie with just feathers, for instance. Okay, so now the body and the head, the rest of it, we're just V-tying. And we have our mixture of random junk from the wastebasket. Maybe we'll go more EP fiber-esque near the head. We'll try and use some of the Launer bucktail here. No, I'm telling you, dude, when we did that 888 and I filmed that video, I'm very pleased with ostrich herl tied with marabou. I think I need more ostrich herl, for instance. You can see how there's gaps. It's very hard to get every piece of ostrich herl to cover it evenly. So you kind of need to use a really almost like ridiculous amount of ostrich herl for this flies. But, you know, whatever. It's okay every once in a while to spoil your I can't even talk, spoil yourself. By the way, Craggerroll, congratulations. Craggerroll won a trip to Chile to go fly fishing. We were talking about, I think, what do you call it? That's like similar. Is it going to be like saltwater, like similar to is it like trout fishing, or is it going to be like sea run, like Tierra del Fuego near the ocean, windy as hell sort of style, or is it going to be like a I don't know. I'm assuming Chile is that sort of style of fishing is all very similar down there, like Patagonia. Either way, it's gonna be awesome. But I was gonna say you're pretty much doing what Paul Yun, or Paul Yun hooked on fishing was doing down there. That's way too much super glue, by the way. Let's soak some of that up. Oops. For trout, gotcha. It's gonna be fun fishing. It's like high mountainous regions. I'll roll one like that. What's going on, Gregular? How you doing? Oh, I should be V-tying top and bottom, shouldn't I? It's okay if you do staggered V-ties, for instance, on this tie. I know someone was asking me about if the V ties need to be perfect for something like a kinky muddler, for instance. And ideally, I try and keep them consistent, but you can have a little variation. It's not the end of the world. It's more so when you get towards the front of the fly, it's when it becomes an issue. So I'm going to try and V-tie here, but I don't want to trim it. You know what I mean? That's the idea. They all look like they are sea-run trout, though. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, that's going to be sick. Yeah, it's good to see you, Greg. I hope everything's going well. Hope life's been treating you good. So let's take a little of this, a little of that, yada, yada, yada. Little bucktail, an EP, V-tied. So like when do I, it's not very often that you would do this sort of thing, right? Definitely forcing me to like try and like, okay, let's see if we can try and get a good looking fly out of whatever the hell this stuff is. That's part of the fun of it, or really the fun of it. Yeah, if I tie the material short enough with this size hook, I think we should be okay where it's actually going to sink properly and not just spin. If we have to, we can always trim it. And I didn't want to use just bucktail because we could, and we could trim it. We can have like a pseudo spun deer hair head almost. But I kind of wanted to mix the different materials because now we're getting kind of like a brush, like a brushy head and body. It's almost like we're using a dubbing brush, if you will, type of thing, you know? Try and keep the Lawner materials up top to help turn the fly over as well. Lawner bucktail means more bucktail means more buoyancy. So that's a little trick if you ever want your flies to turn over properly. Just make sure you don't tie more material on top than you do on the bottom. Usually that'll, in itself, get the job done. And what we'll do is we'll put some like 3D eyes on here. There's a nice base for 3D eyes. This material will soak up that glue really well. E6000. We'll brush it out first. It's definitely making a mess in the air, but or like getting like stuff kicked up everywhere. Want a little bit of that bucktail for the belly. It's the only problem with this Senos laser dub. It loves sticking to rough areas on your hands. If you work with your hands for a living or you have rough hands, the Senos laser dub will stick to every little callus on your finger. All right. You might need to do a little trimming just to get that profile. Oh my God, I didn't realize I was so zoomed in. My bad. Hopefully you got to see most of it. You get the idea though. Oh, dude, is there Oh God, I spilled super glue on it. I was like, what did I just get all over my hands? It's freaking super glue. Well, that's gonna be a pain. It's so annoying. You have to like pick it off essentially. I hate getting super glue all over my hands. I was wondering what that was. I was like, I didn't drop resin on the table. What the hell is that? My super glue was like overflowing. Always sucks too rolling cigarettes. I'm like, dude, I gotta get all this stuff off my fingers. I don't want to end up smoking the smoking super glue chunks. All right, let's brush it out. Yep, see, a lot of dusty type micro EP fiber and Senos laser dub coming out. Let's throw a whip finish on here. Sandpaper, yeah. Sandpaper does will do it. Or nail file, yep. I just pick it off. Just take a layer of skin off. It's fine. Let's trim this lightly. Using the kinky muddler, Johnny King's technique. I actually kind of leave it like that because we are going to glue the eyes on, so it's going to compress the sides. I kind of want it a little scraggly. So what you do is you glue the eyes on back here. Boom, squid fly. There you go. It's like an actual viable squid fly that nobody would be like, whoa, that's weird. They'd be like, oh, that's kind of a cool squid fly. But the problem is the eyes are not going to be very durable. You know what I mean? So ideally you'd want to kind of like glue them back here with like mono or something. Mono stems. But I'm going to glue the eyes on normally. But yeah, if you wanted to, you can make a sick squid fly out of something like this. Okay. Do I have any smaller 3D eyes? Or do I just have these? I must have smaller ones. Yeah. It's a little small, though. I kind of want almost something bigger. Oh, googly eyes. Which are terrible, by the way. But we're going to use them. Because it's been so long. Who the hell... Mall Dropper. Haha, I didn't forget you. It's been so long. I don't know where the hell Mall Dropper is, but I'm like, who the hell was the googly eye addict? Mall Dropper. I bought these specifically for Mall Dropper. I don't think we've seen him since. It's been years, but... On crease flies, yep. I was talking to Mark about it. I was like, dude, I loved it when you used to use the googly eyes. And he started laughing because, like, he was like, oh my God, I forgot about the time. He forgot when he was using googly eyes, but he said they were terrible. They never worked. They always waterlogged and they broke. And I was like, yeah, but they were so cool on, like, the first couple casts. Because his flies in Innovative Saltwater Flies, the book by Bob Verka, he's got googly eyes on everything. Love them on crease flies, huh? I feel like they would get ultra destroyed on a crease fly because it's a hard surface and not something soft, but they're not definitely a durable long-term option for sure. This, but this is the thing. I couldn't buy 3D eyes back in the day. There was like, and on saltwaterflies.com was one of the only places online, for instance, right? But I'd always didn't have, my parents were not always like, we're going to order something online. It was like, it wasn't as easy as it was nowadays to buy things online back in the 90s, right? Or order things on via Cabela's in a catalog or something, whatever it may be. So like a very viable way to get fly tying materials for me was to go to Michael's or go to craft stores. They had feathers. Like this sort of fly right here, you could probably tie entirely with stuff from Michael's. They had feathers. You could find ostrich curl. You could find marabou a lot of times. You could find peacock curl. You could find synthetic hairs like craft fur. I don't know about bucktail. You might be able to find natural hairs. But But you can essentially, this is like the sort of stuff I would tie as like a kid. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't like follow any certain things. I would just take random materials and like tie them on and stuff. And it would always be like googly eyes, because this is like the only sort of thing that you can find in a craft store that actually like, you know, like, yes, this will, there you go. That's a 3D eye right there to put on a fly, you know? Let's see if we can hear it. Oh, you're not, hold on. Let me turn off my AC. Let me turn off the noise reduction. Let's see if we can hear it. Shh. I'm gonna crank it up. ASMR time. Yeah, you can hear it. It's not gonna last very long. After the first fish, it'll get crushed, but hey, there you go. All right, what are we calling this? We'll call this the trash hollow. The trash head hollow. Yeah, that's what we're calling it. The trash head hollow. Oh, dude, that's it right there. That looks like one of the fire creatures from Labyrinth. Where's our David Bowie song? Oh, dude, now I need the David Bowie song on command. Hold on, we gotta find it. Hold on. Yeah, David Bowie song. This is not David Bowie, but this always reminds me of like Labyrinth, like a scene in Labyrinth or some David Bowie movie or something. It's from Epidemic Sound, but there you go. What's going on, Jabberwocky? Tell me this doesn't sound like David Bowie's. Who is that man to pace in a looking glass? It's like just like pure nonsense lyrics. I don't know why that part reminds me of David Bowie. I mean, there were many different stages of David Bowie. There was like 70s, Ziggy Stardust Bowie. Then there was like the late 70s or like the 80s versions of Bowie where he's in a suit, walking around with Freddie Mercury Bowie, you know? And then there's the later like a Zoolander version, you know what I mean? There's many stages of Bowie. Just got back from some after work fishing. More stress relief than anything. There you go. Well, I've gone out fishing the past couple times. Zero fish and more just getting out of the house. So, but you know, it's kind of crazy that this like seems like a pretty similar result to what you would get to a dubbing brush head. So this is something that I also wanted to mention about this roll your own fly thing. It's not always just about, oh man, well, let's see. I mean, first off, I think we did pretty good. I could take this and go fish it. I don't know how fishable it, or like how effective it's going to be. I mean, it's a streamer, right? Let's be honest. You don't need a rocket science to tie just a basic streamer for stripers. But it's more so how it swims and stuff. But one of the main things that I love about this is my little revelation that I've had tying this particular fly this evening is I feel like if I need a dubbing brush style head and I don't have a dubbing brush, I feel like I could get a very similar result to just, if I need that style of head, I could just take like EP style material or like Seno's laser dub, mix it with some sort of natural hair like a bucktail or some sort of stiffer synthetic material that has this sort of texture to it, or even use like fox hair, and we could just V-tie it. So even if you don't have a dubbing brush, you could still get a foxy, you know, like the foxy dubbing brush from EP, you could still get that style of head. You're just going to have to like taper the length of the material, because if we just trimmed it completely flush, it's not going to look like a dubbing brush. But by having these sort of uneven ends to it. It looks much more like if it was like a dubbing brush style or something. Not necessarily exactly perfect, but you get the idea. So that's something as well with doing this, is being able to be like, all right, well, what can I learn from this experience of fly tying? Like, and it sounds pretty dumb. This is for everything, but this is what I do for a living, is fly tying, teach people fly tying. So I'll take this part serious. But this is a really good way of like evaluating your own tying and being like, okay, well, what did I do there that, you know, that I really like or something, whether or not the experiment of tying the stuff randomly came out nice or not. And I'll totally say, if we tied this all in white, like, I feel like we could go catch tarpon in Costa Rica. Like, I wouldn't, the colors, I feel like whatever, but you know, it's funny if you just change it to like, if we just tied this all in black, for instance, like, it completely changes the look of the fly. I think there's like, this is definitely a viable pattern you could take and fish. You know, it's not like it's a completely original thing, but you know, I'm happy with it. I don't know if I like the color choice, but it's interesting. But yeah, the big thing for me is that being able to take that kind of scraggly trash material, like the underfur from a craft fur bunch, take the Sendo's laser dub, take a bunch of scrap bucktail, cut it up, blend it, and you can get a pseudo dubbing brush head, you know. So that was kind of my big takeaway from this. But we'll add it to the box, and yada yada yada. We have one more fly we gotta tie tonight before we're done, because I'm ready to make some food. Djibouti Show streaming too, so I'm gonna check them out. We gotta tie one more corn fly, so we're gonna grab another size 2, and we gotta tie one more for Slim Thunder. Now, this one, what if we just spin deer hair, right? And then trim it. I think I even have yellow. Oh, God, that's going to make a mess. Oh, it's going to make a mess. Whatever, we'll do it. I'll just vacuum after the stream. So, I'm going to try and make this one smaller by tying it more far forward. Because this is going to be... I don't think you need a very large one. I'm going to go more what I think a corn kernel size is, but... Slim Thunder, viewer of the channel, requested via the giveaway stuff to get a corn fly one day, and that was like years ago, so we're finally getting around to it. Because corn isn't my specialty. If you're wondering what the hell we're doing right now. There, God, he's dying a corn fly. Down in the bayou. By the way, if you haven't, you got to check out the Harlan Williams podcast. I've been watching for a while now, but he starts it out with a Cajun accent. Spot on, too, perfect. But God, it's such a good pod. He's so funny. I love Harlan Williams. So happy I found that podcast. It was actually, I'm happy. I think he like blew up a bit because he had Sam Hyde on there, and Sam Hyde flipped the table over or something, and like it was all over YouTube, which I was like, yes, the Harlem Highway podcast is all over. Because I love him. He's an awesome dude. So I wish him nothing but success. So. And Harlan Williams, he's a comedian, by the way. He was the guy who in Rocket Man's famous movie, he was the one that got arrested in Half Baked, where he feeds the horse and it dies, and he goes butternuts. But he's just an amazing comedian. He's been a professional comedian forever. But he's a big outdoorsman too. He's from Canada, and I think he was like either like a ranger or something like that. Something to do with forestry management or something. I think he was something. I don't know. But he's super big in the outdoors. He loves fishing and stuff like that. So he's a cool dude. Yeah, butter stuff. Butter stuff. Butter nuts, butter stuff. It's Buttercups, god damn it! You're a cop killer! You're going to jail. Do you know what they do to you freaks like you in jail? That was so good. He's like, I just want to feed him some of the popcorn. He's like, pop. You like? He's like, you like just popcorn? He fed him like so much sugar and stuff. He's like, that horse is a diabetic. Dude, I remember the first time I watched that movie. That scene right there goes down as like one of the most legendary freaking stoner movie scenes of all time. Yeah, it makes your teeth go pop, pop, pop. Just his manner, like the way he delivers his lines, you know, it's very like him and Norm Macdonald. Like Norm Macdonald, rest in peace, legend. But him and Norm Macdonald, I put on a very like similar, if not same, sort of level of like being able to work. I mean, just the comedic genius of just like knowing how to deliver lines, and then also like the silence and the awkwardness and how funny that could be just by not saying anything for like 5 seconds after saying something ridiculous, or like, oh, just a whole nother level of like funny. So highly recommend it. And I haven't gotten into Kill Tony. I know that's super big, but I've seen Harlan on there a couple times, and I have enjoyed like some of it, where they were going back and forth with some people. But if I do watch, I would rather just prefer like stand up from a comedian that I enjoy, if anything. Yeah. Yeah, I just haven't got into it. It's almost like cringe. Like, it's almost too cringe. I can't, you know what I mean? Like, I saw, and somebody was up there, and they're like, oh, hey, I'm up there now, and it's like, you know, I was like, dude, I can't watch this. Like, and the comedians were just, like, ripping the person apart or whatever. It's not my sort of style. I mean, it's not my sort of, like, you know. It's almost like a roast sort of thing, but it was, like, just random people, like, getting invited to do. And some people are great, right? But the cringe was so strong, I had to shut it off. Like, it was too strong. The cringe was too strong. No, I haven't seen that. Yeah, I didn't know anything about this Tony guy. I think he's a comedian too or something, but I didn't hear about him at all until Kill Tony blew up or whatever, and everyone started talking about it. But... And again, Harlan Williams is on there all the time, so that's why I'm mentioning it. That was the only reason I checked it out. There's like a handful of comedians I actually enjoy watching and stuff. I don't watch a lot of it nowadays, but there was a golden age, dude, where there was like some just amazing. And you could watch, like, especially on Comedy Central, dude, they'd run reruns of like a lot of older comedians or older shows and stuff like that, or specials. It was a lot of fun to watch back in the day. All right, I'm trying to do a corn here. So I'm trying to do like a little beetle shell, if you will, almost. Play a little music at the end of the stream, why not? Kind of want to trim it semi-flat on the belly so it actually swims properly. All right, Slim Thunder, send me your address in Discord, and I'll package this up and I'll send it out whenever is the next time I go to the post office. And I think we'll wait till next week to pick the YouTube winner. I like to give it 2 weeks. I was doing 1 week. But we'll give it 2 weeks. So if you haven't, go watch the Craffer Mickelson video. That's the most recent YouTube video. And make sure to like it, comment, And be subscribed to the channel, which you probably are if you're watching this. And we're going to pick the winner next live stream, which will be next Friday. We'll see who's going to win that fly. Okay, I'm kind of going OCD style and trimming too much here now, so I'm just going to stop. I'm stopping like that. That's it. That's it. There you go. There's your piece of corn. Chuck it. It's not perfect, but you know, sometimes two pieces get stuck together and then you chuck them out there, so. Yeah, it's good enough though. Let's see if we can get more flush here at the end to get more of a round shape. Yeah. Also, shout out. I always like to recommend, you know, when I find just stuff that I enjoy, whether it's music or channels. If you are into like D&D or that sort of stuff, even though it's not D&D, thank God. If you're into that sort of stuff, check out Mystery Quest. Great channel. They Call of Cthulhu and some other role-playing stuff. But just fantastic channel, so. That, and there's another one. There's, God, what's the name? Battle Guides. Is a world, it does like World War I, World War II historical documentaries. Another great YouTube channel. And any channel like that that's not full of AI voices and is actual real people, you gotta enjoy, because YouTube is just full of AI bloat nowadays. So, but anyways, I like mentioning stuff that I'm watching recently and stuff like that. You can check those out if you like it. There you go, Slim. You got 2 corn flies. I got a mess on my desk, and I'm ready to go sit outside and enjoy the nice end of summer weather outside and sit in the hookah lounge, watch some Djibouti show. So I appreciate you folks all hanging out. Oh, you tied me a piece of corn. Thanks. No, you gotta win, and then you gotta wait 3 years. You gotta watch for 3 years. You gotta come in and go, hey, where's my corn fly? Where's my corn fly, like Slim Thunder? And then you'll get it. Now, if you win the Friday Fly giveaway, usually within a month or two, you'll get a single saltwater fly hand-tied by me in the mail, which is usually what people want. But if you're crazy like Slim, you gotta wait, but you'll get 2 corn flies in the mail. And whatever you do with corn flies, I don't know what they do with them nowadays. You tell me. It's my guess, your guess. Who knows? Those freaks. Now. Oh, man. All right. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for hanging out and watching, chat. I appreciate you folks. I know, I'm being sarcastic, Jimmy. What do you call it? Those carp guys. Freaks. 07. Salute. There you go. Thank you so much for watching, chat. Jimmy, Rev, Paul, thank you for the new membership, Paul, by the way. Much love, as always. We got Raph, Anathasio, and then, of course, we got Slim, Cragger Roll, Doc. Appreciate you folks. We got Jabberwocky, Gregular. You folks have an awesome night. Have a great weekend, all right? Before we leave, I am going to show you this. Don't worry, we're about to end the stream, but check this out. I'm proud of it. I've been having Rev 3D print me everything. I figured this was going to take too long. So I do plan on doing something for Mike Rolls Dice. I'm going to do a Halloween TTRPG episode or something. And it's going to be like Skinwalker-esque sort of thing in the woods. Private detectives. But check out the cabin I made, dude. The inside's not the best, but whatever. But, shingles, we got moss, we got some bricks on there, all airbrushed. Not too shabby. I'm happy with it. Now, how much time did it take me to do this? Way too much. It took me in the past, I made this from, what was it? Like past 2-3 days. I spent a couple hours each day or whatever. But anyways. Got one of these suckers too. Better watch out for this thing right here. You don't want to mess with one of those. I'm trying to break down the door. Anyways, thank you, chat. Appreciate it. You guys have an awesome night. And new video coming out on Sunday is going to be the feather candy. Okay? So we'll see you guys later. You have an awesome night. And stay safe out there. Okay?